Good afternoon, all. This is Wednesday, June 1st, 2022. This is another of our webinars for market timing. As you know, we killed it last week in the market, and then we closed it on Friday. We were one day early. But for our purposes, remember, we're trading a spread in BMT Pro. That spread, using a parity equation of a Black-Scholes model, the parity equation says you have a call, you got a put, and there's a little delta there. So at some point, that delta is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. But when it goes to zero, you got to be way, way up there, up here. So look what it did. It never did that. So we got out. And then went flat on Friday. So somewhere in here, we hit the maybe maximum value. And then, of course, we pulled back. We just didn't want to sit there, all right? So we're flat right now. And I think that was a decent call. Why? I'm going to show you. Okay, first, let's talk about a couple of things. First of all, my apology, we have not fixed all of PMT yet. We've started, but nowhere close. Why? We lost 3 machines. We just brought them back. We're still waiting for update 64 from TradeStation. We're still running 63. One of my guys has 64, but he's a beta guy. I don't want to do that. If I do that, I'll be... I don't know what that would create. I'd rather deal with the release copy because there could be something else they're working on and may not even make it to release copy. So we've been just bombarded. The other thing is that we had 3 trials end last week on the what do you call it, ORB. This system right there. That's it. Basically a 13x setup. And here's the payoff curve. I mean, just been incredible. And we got 3 packages. So, NQ, MNQ, or just chat room only. With seeing the trade visually. It's just been crazy. So, as the first one, we have to capture the reserve, and boom, 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 here we are. All right? So, my apologies there. We are setting up a webinar for it. Now, I'm sorry. We're running 4.4. What's on the website is 4.4. Okay, very quickly here, guys. You see the end results. Everything is talking about 4.4. Okay, we're going to add to this 4.5. It was released last night. It was released last night. It's going to go live tomorrow. We're going to give it to elite members over the weekend for Monday. Okay, but this test results are all 4.4. We will publish for 4.5. We're very open. Extremely transparent. You see what 4.5 does. The 4.5 was a small bug fix. It was an error. We would scale up with those errors. It was our fault. Really, we're not tweaking with anything. No need to. 4.4 is doing very well. And the results speak for themselves. We had 1 bad month. And if you have a problem with that, I suggest you write a note to Comrade Putin, the commissar over there, and complain at Kremlin. Okay, don't go do it in person. You may not come home. Yeah, exactly. He doesn't like anybody criticizing him. Talk about insecurity. So, anyhow, so that's what we've been busy with this, and you can see the issues we had with the Windows 11. Windows 11 is the way to go, but you can now upgrade. Okay, but TradeStation has to do a patch on top of that called 64, and it's not here yet. Yeah, hold on one second. Hold on one second. Hello?
Social Security Disability Consultant.
Thank you. I am mentally disabled, so leave me alone. After all these, sorry guys. The number looked like a Microsoft number, so I took it. Sorry about that. Anyhow, 4.5 will go out, will be released. The big kahuna is V5. That's not ready. Probably not I think another month to go. But we're getting closer. The scaling also impacts that was doing. Remember, these are object-oriented, so there are a bunch of subroutines. If you don't test every subroutine, when you go to build them, you could carry the mistake with you. We're at 700 lines now. We're at 670, 665, something like that on 404. 405 puts us over 700. But it's good we did it. The test result last night that came back from 3 of our testers were not just beautiful, it was organized. It was the way I look at it, so I could put it into Excel and do my massaging and figure out what the statistical anomalies are. And so I appreciate that. It also gave me a very good feeling that we have a good team here. As we move forward, we can release things better because of just the members are involved already. I didn't have to babysit them, and that was the key. Again, reminder: Wednesdays we don't trade. We're manual. The system does not trade. The problem is because of chaos. You saw what happened today. Aside from that, what else do I have to say for you on that? Other than housekeeping there, what else? No, that's it. Again, when you sign up, one last comment on the auto trade, which is the elite package, is it elite or elite NQ? We'll do a separate link there later, but you come into NQ from here. Okay, this one. There's NQ. This now we have. I'm saying MNQ, the smaller 1/10 size. You can also do that. Remember, chat room is only 14 days. We're not going to let you compete with a big package. Not fair. But this is basically for tech support. So because I'm very visual, I can show a problem, explain the visual, and you get it what I'm talking about. This is trade station. There are settings. It's like a 747 cockpit. You've got to pull the right switch. Otherwise, you're going to get the hodgepodge. And there's also a difference between backtesting and live trading. You have to decouple it. You have to, don't know I can do it short to you. There's a manual there. Please use the manual user guide. Soon it's going to be 4.5. We will do a new video for that. So we'll succeed this. We'll succeed April 12th. If you're new, please look at those two. Also remember, because the code sits on your machine, you need to pay to the end of the month. Okay? So when you pay the first month, that's the forward month, not the current month, because that's pro rata. Okay? Unless you came in today on the first. That's the different problem. So, and that's this. Some people had issues with it. Those who have used our indicators know we have the same problem, same issue. We do it the same way. It's a routine that TradeStation wrote for us, but that was quarterly. So we do a pro rata for quarter. This is pro rata for the month. All right. That's it. That's for that. That's housekeeping. One last item. If you go to members area before the login, you get the calendar of what's coming up. This doesn't need login. If I even log out, come back to this. This still shows. Okay, for example, close front end, go to members. It shows that here's the link. But register once. That's all you need to do. It keeps track of it, send it to you, and the list just grows. So some people show up, some people don't. And then the results are posted on YouTube channel. Best thing is to subscribe there. So the moment we post, you get it. The other time I forgot to send an email. It was too much. Forgot. Long day. We have a lot of long days. Even though I've had more people, I'm getting support from all kinds of folks in the room because they see what I'm going through. I respect that. I appreciate that. But that's one way to get to the webinars early. Just get it on YouTube the moment we post it. Okay. Let's go to econ calendar. Something you guys came in for. Okay. Big day, Friday, non-farm payroll. Tomorrow, day before non-farm payroll. So it's going to be quiet tomorrow. We'll have a suspended animation in the afternoon. For the morning, we have ADP because it was a 4-day. Usually comes on Wednesday. So take a look at that. Let's see what the consensus is. This is crucial. That's a kind of a preview. Not the statisticians will tell you not always correlated with the non-farm, but it gets fairly close. At least the private payroll portion of it. Okay. So 247, they look at 240, and then here's the range. Okay, so down tick a little bit, about 7,000. And also, let's see what the revision is. Always, payroll is a lot has to do with revision. So make sure that, and that's why it takes a little longer for this to show up tomorrow. You gotta hit Control R, refresh, because they gotta put the add a column here and 2 columns, one on this side, one on the end. One is the revision, the other one is the actual for this period, revising past. And sometimes make sure you read these because sometimes more like in the non-farm, in this one, the revision is more than one. It could be 2 months of revision. So you want to read that. Okay. Now, I usually go and dive into BLS quickly. I got the number. I printed out. I made through a freebie in there. I don't know who I did last time. I think we owe him something. We give him, he would never wrote to us. Somebody won the Twitter, and we tell him, give us an estimate of what this number is. The new number, not the prior, not the revision, actually what shows up here, the actual. Of the top line, nothing else. Another guy, I remember, was negotiating with me. Oh, I thought you meant private. What? No, we didn't say that. It's a headline number, the first one. But with that, if you get the closest to it, doesn't matter you go above or not. It's the distance. It's a delta from it. If you have the least delta from the actual, you get right to us and we give you what you want. Obviously, this was a alias on Twitter. They didn't want to tell us who he is. Then you cannot acquire. If you're not sure about your name, we're going to have you verified through PayPal. By sending us $1, we send $1 back. This way we know who you are because PayPal forces you to be registered using a bank account which has your driver's license. You see what I'm saying? So we keep it simple. Okay? So here's what I'm going to look for tomorrow for Friday. Revision on privates, revision on non-farm. Manufacturing is here, but I also want to know construction. For that, I go to BLS. I think it's BLS.org, whatever it is. Just Bureau of Labor Statistics, that's what it is. Or .gov, I'm saying. I think it's BLS.gov. You go there, and it's going to be busy right after the number comes out. Don't do it. You won't have time to read all the detail, understand it. Best I used to do, I have an assistant here. I would have him printed, bring it to me. It takes a while to log in. A lot of people are trying to do that because the data is quarantined. But I want to look at what also construction did, housing. Participation rate is going to be low. That's nothing new. The other thing I like is the average work week. If this is popping up, that means that they're getting temporary workers. That means there's a pressure to upside. Normally, that's the case in Christmas time. Okay? At least that's how I look at it. Again, I'm not a statistician or economist, but I want to know what parameters are to react to. And either I use Financial Juice. They have a breaking view on breaking news on Twitter. I have it on. And there's also Livestock, Live Squawk. I keep these two on to see what the numbers are. They're probably reporting for sooner than the trade station, like a TV. By the time TV, they say they comes to you, it takes longer. So I get the number. Again, I'm looking at the headline number. We're going to have also ISM on Friday. Jobless claims tomorrow, productivity, factory orders. So tomorrow we have a slew of data starting from 8:15 with an ADP, which is usually on Wednesdays of normal weeks, and then going through factory orders at 10. I don't care about natural gas. I didn't look at it either. That's why. Yeah. I look at this petroleum status, but not gas, just crude oil, WTI. Okay, so let's see one thing. ISM manufacturing, what did it come into? What's also required? They didn't turn out that way. Let's see what they have. 55.4. See, now there's a consensus. But what happened? No revision. Yeah, this doesn't have revision. True. Here's the range for about 5 points. Is a range. And it came in at the top of the range. That's very good. Okay. And then bullets for the afternoon. I know. Beijbrook, forget it. Jolts, yeah, let's see. That's job openings. I had a assistant that she was nuts about this report. So let's see what we have. 11.5. Prior revised. There you go. This one was revised. Upward. Yeah. More job openings. Consensus this time is 11.4. Here's your range. Oh, it came in 11.4. Okay, on the low end of the range. And at consensus. Okay, not bad. Okay. March, appreciation of past 4 reports to 11.4. Yeah, that was huge. That was revised up, actually. Yeah, wow. Okay. Yeah, we just can't find the right people. I mean, service down here sucks. In restaurants, absolutely sucks. Or at least they blame it on not finding people. Offer them more. Can't do it. They can't use price for it. Who had Fleming's in front of mine here that took me to it's a chain steakhouse before Top Gun, and the portion size were half, and he went berserk. They just charge me extra. They said no, we don't change. We don't plan to change our price point. We're just going to offer you less for the same money. Well, they got to make their GM, their gross margin. So what do you expect them to do? All right, now the reason I brought this up wasn't any of this. It's next week, I believe. This is 14, I think, or maybe 2 weeks from now. No, Murray, 2 weeks from now. Okay. 2 weeks from now, today would be FOMC. And from 2 on, Mohammed, you ain't seen nothing yet. If you trade the system with non-farm, remember, it's not non-FOMC, FOMC, except remember, it's a right-hand system. It's the DMZ lines. It's not the automated system because that one's not automated yet. But it's just from like 2 o'clock you get a flash. That's what the communique says. That's not crucial. 2:30 the chairman comes and is going to have his presser. That becomes crucial. And remember, the rule of the game is every question is a trade. So if it's not working, get out. Wait for the next question. Don't try to fight it. You won't have a lot of time. Why? The different news organizations, different journalists, different tilts. Some of them you could see it from the prior questions. They're like Leisman. So very pro-Fed because they're kind of unsure. They want to be invited again. Now I have a friend, I forget his name, in Twitter. Twitter friend. We've talked a couple of times on the phone, but I forget his name. Pedro, I forgot last time. I think it was the Wall Street Journal. They kicked him out. He asked tough question from, who was that? What was it before him? Was it Yellen? Yeah. He asked a tough question from Yellen and they kicked him out, took his press badge. Yeah. So depends on who asked the question, but I think people like from Bloomberg, they're hard-nosed. Wall Street Journal probably is a little bit more friendly. So you get soft balls, soft throws, or you get really, really curveballs. Okay. Depending how that question is, you got to trade. And one question has nothing to do with the other one. So it's going to be a wild ride. That's next 2 weeks from today. Okay. What else? Next week is going to be PPI, CPI. The week of non-farm, FOMC are going to be also have the June, which is triple witching expiration. And then follow that would be GDP like we had last week and durable goods. It's just a cycle you're in. It's good to know that. It's good to print out. We use the Econoday. Go to us.econoday.com and then you get it by the week. This is the free part. They sell you a lot of stuff, but this is free. This feeds most econ calendars. Market Watch, Bloomberg, they get the data here. Now, sometimes the consensus estimations are coming from Bloomberg, but the publishing is done here. Okay? So, we'll get to charts next. Okay. So, here we go. So, what we did? We did a couple of bottom fishing. And yeah, we were long spread and it was getting dangerous. We actually made good money and they knocked us out here. We put it back on and killed them there. We just have to wait a little bit. Now, we'll have all the emails. We'll build the page to show that. Let me check something else here. I don't know if it's working or not. I know there's a problem and we need to have it checked. No, that's a problem. I got to have a look at this. This should take you to the 4 weeks there that are free. I'm sorry, up to last 4 weeks. So we still have an ongoing problem with that. We'll see. Remember, we changed 2 servers with Microsoft. Listen, last 6 months, I haven't been impressed by Microsoft. And they finally ended up giving us a pretty decent credit back. Yeah. So, anyhow, so we'll do that for you so you can get in to see previews. You won't see live trade. You'll see history. And we will clean that up. I promise you. But remember, as I said, I did when I was in high school. I think I was 14 or 15. Must have been 15. Yeah. I was a sophomore, junior. Yeah. I did the Maxwellian equations. So the guy upstairs has blocked my emails and tweets. I'm not sure he understands it, but he probably thinks that I don't think there's anybody upstairs. And he probably is right. Okay. Because that's what Maxwell shows. And it was used later on by Einstein. This is 1850s. Around turn of century, it was used by Einstein to do E equal MC2. So, but here's what I asked. I said, guys, I don't think your email is blocked. So how about sending an email upstairs and saying, of the 24 hours we have, give 1 minute a week to Fari extra. That'll be caught up. So if you guys all do that, now I won't say it to you. I'll send it on Twitter, put it in my email. If everybody does 1 minute a week of your time, give it to me. So you get 23 hours and 59 minutes a day. I'll catch up. That's where we are. One more thing. I'm going to go to LA and San Francisco, but for see my family, both in the Southern California and Northern California. The rich ones are in Southern California, the smart ones are in Northern California. No. There's a good mix of both categories. I haven't seen them in 3 years, and 4th of July is when my mom passed away. I want to go to her grave, which is in Hollywood. Uh, actually, Forest Gump, the other side of Hollywood Hills. I want to go there. Yeah, I'm going to go see my friends. So I'll be off about 7 to 10 days. I need some time off. So it's crazy until then. But we have built remote access for every machine now. We've done separate machines for each video. Nancy and Peter on that. And actually, good test wasn't perfect, but good test was out of New York. And I may also have to be in New York before another month as a follow up what I did last month. They're up 13% in 3 days. Yeah. They're just like totally speechless. These guys goes 3% a month. So on big money, and it's not small, but we're up 13% in 3 days. So we were 9% last night. Well, we added 4% more. So speechless. And so, but they want me to come up, and we have more discussions to do. I told them, write a check. One guy offered to send his aircraft. I said, no, I'll fly commercial. Leave me alone. Last time somebody did that was Louis Navigator, and he backed out of the deal. I said, no, I don't want that. Don't impress me by your aircraft. I've had all kinds of aircraft at my disposal. At Princeton, I had a Gulfstream from Grumman available. They actually get clearance to land there because that's a small runway. I never used it. Several times they said, anytime you want to go somewhere. What do you mean? A jaded aircraft like that, everything is gold plated? Thank you. No. I'm not some Arab sheikh. No. Anyhow, that was a long story, a long time ago. All right, so what do we do now? Let's go through charts. Okay, so bottom was made. We went long. We've cleared. Now, issues volume. I haven't looked at volume today. But here's what the warning was. Look at McLaren Oscillator. You hit 347 on the upside. When did you guys remember seeing one? It's been a while. Downsides we do see. Deep down there. Look at this. Here, right? Look at the W. But 347, I mean, intraday I see it. I do it, what's called Control R, get the value, post settlement. During the day, it's not. It's just what it is. I'm thinking this is, and we're like up here. I'm saying that trajectory. Hey, Nancy, I'm going to the swimming pool. So send this message out. We're going to be out. We're going to be out today. I'm going to swim. I don't want to worry about it. And no matter what, we're getting out. Why? I mean, it's going to be really, really bad news for this to pull back. Going to that level, you want to get out. And so we locked it. And reflects on our performance that was posted on Twitter and on the website here. Now, thrust got killed. This one didn't even make it to the limit. Breath thrust did not make it. So that was a good decision. We have outside bar here. NDX leads, so that's a warning to the downside. And usually when I go flat, I do not do a V. The only time I did a V has been a couple of times. Actually, the ones that really made the numbers. One was in March 23rd, 2020. So that they recorded on 23rd. I did go in. We went long ES that night, but knowing that this is going to take off. But I did not. I missed. I was trading. I missed the letter, the email to trace it to Time Digest, and the rules are past 9 p.m. It counts next day. Okay, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight here. It passed midnight, so it doesn't count. They moved it for Tuesday, which was actually the visual cash flow. Yeah, March. I went by futures because the Dow hit my target of 18,000 on that Sunday. That's one. The other one was Christmas Eve of 2 years earlier, 2018, and that became a V2. I don't do a V. That means come down short and then cover and go up, or vice versa, go up and then short. I usually take a couple of days off. Why? I want to see how the dust settles. It turns out over time that's better. Remember, I've been with them since 2003, and I was very hit and miss at the beginning. I didn't know what I was doing, and I had no indicators I have now that would compete, especially built for market timing. And so those haphazard. But as you go into like 20, I went to Chicago 2009, 2010. Yeah, I didn't know stuff tell me what to do. Excuse me. And you find out best thing is to step back. All right. CIs have pulled up from the really flat bottom area. That's it. Sell, 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 sell. But anytime here could pop a little bit. Of course, we got hoodwinked. This one we were short. We did very well. We were short into here. This one I sat through but did not trade it. But I knew I was still short. And then a little bit after that, we went to put a trade for you that went down here. People loved it. We can't be precise. And we missed here because of this one day. This one day negated everything. Remember, we had not even hit 0 SIC. This one, we were above 0 SIC. Again, trust your indicators. We went by the rules. It was not haphazard. It was not, oh, I feel like this, or whether it's gray or an ex-girlfriend called and yelled at me. No. Mechanical. Look at the chart and go. So that's where we are. The volumes, I'm not using as much. I know somebody complained I'm using this a lot more. But you could see what kind of a volume shake we were in. This was big. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. You see what happened there? That huge drop here that actually took us out was a big spike in it. Down 12 volume. What happened here? Lower price, much lower price. Volume was also nothing, neutral, around the 1. That's a 1 area, same ratio. Now, this is a strict ratio. This one is not. This is, if it's up here, it's up volume divided by up plus down volume. It does not take into account the unchanged volume, which is U. Not U. I forget what it is. I don't know which one's unchanged. I forget. U vol and D vol, and then of course they have little characters after them for the Nasdaq and Russell. I just don't know. I forget what's the unchanged, but they don't compute the unchanged. It's a small number anyway. But if it's down volume, is bigger than up volume, then it plots this side of it, a curve, and that's down volume divided by, again, same denominator, up volume plus down volume. So again, no unchanged in there. Okay, so I use that a lot more, and also look at it intraday. You can see, did we get into a barrier here or not? Look what I did there. Look, this one. I knew we were going to go. Why? Look at the divergence. Price goes there, but indicator doesn't. So you got to sit down and watch and say, okay, what it did to me and why. Canaries. What time is it? 5:40. Okay. This is the Dow. This is utilities, transportation, and Russell. A little weak here. Cannot punch through. Same thing here. And if you look at it, they're both up. They're positive. CI, diff, as you can see here, and kind of solid here. Now remember, I'm plotting these against these two, not top two. In TradeStation, you have to point that. You got to say it there. Matter of fact, let me go there and just verify that. Go to General Tab. There you go. That's on Russell. Yeah. For a while, I didn't catch it. It was pointing to the top line. I don't want to see the top line. It's the second line I want to see. Because that's our trigger. Yeah, transpiration. So, a little bit positive there. A few days. Just Russell more. Of course, Russell moves the not utility, but NDX, and transpiration moves SPX. So keep those in mind. Now let's go to the trender. All right. All right, we're still negative. Nothing is getting positive. When all 8 get negative, there's usually a correlation to the upside. It's not 1, but it's close to 1 of cases in the past. So it wants to go up to at least cross 1 or 2 and then be tested in terms of, it's like a scoring system. We're at 8 out of 8 negative. You saw it in my PMT reports. I've written that. So right now, most likely it's trying to push up again. It's not finished with the pushing up. So we should expect the trenders to get positive. At least, let's say 2 or 3. Beyond that, it's in a race and maybe signaling end of a run. Just like when it was down here. When we're down here, everything was negative. Look at this area. Everything. That's the low. Okay. SP1 Momo. Okay. As discussed earlier. Excuse me. When this peaks, 140 or better. I think this is 144, 142. I forgot. Close enough, but I would qualify. Or 140 or better or higher. Usually, you're going through the low shortly, and sure enough, we did. You can see how low this is now. We went through the short low, and we're coming back up. When this gets up to around 200, we have a massive downside coming. Always has. Always has. I started looking at it in 2008, and you could see it. You see what happened there? He just really went nuts for that, like 2 years ago. You could see. Forget the timing. Time was going to be late because this is a turtle trader type. It's a trend following system. So this going to be a little bit late. Okay. If it doesn't continue, you're in trouble. It whipsaws. If it does continue, it's a very good one, like a long did. Okay. Now we're still on short. So that's the short. That's the weekly, right? So we're using weekly data and daily. Someone was asking me, "Can I get this? I'll buy this from you." None of these are for sale, and these are not exportable. Plus, this is not that smart. It's just I mean, it's not that smart, and you're not John Henry, neither I am. Am I? John Henry is the one who uses that trend following, but across many, many assets, and that's the guy who owns the Red Sox. Started with a few bucks, and now he owns Red Sox. But with trend following. So we don't put this in PMT automatically. We never do. It's a preponderance of evidence. It's one of our inputs. At the end of the day, I pull the trigger, not the machine. And on the average, it's 3 weeks, 4 weeks on the average. And that's held up since 2003. If you go back, approximately we've done that every 3 weeks. And then recently we added PMT Pro that gives you a trade of roughly same duration. Unless we find something in the market that's not on the chart, forward market, that we're afraid of, so we want to buy something longer with a less theta decay. Remember, it's a number of days left, right? So if you have a week to go, each day is 20%. If you got 4 weeks to go, you have 4 weeks. You have 28%. So you're like 3% a day. It's nothing. So depending on what we see coming in terms of calendar, and of course, like that we pay attention to what FOMC and so forth. Then we adjust that in our duration. Duration is the expiration of the contract we suggest to you to trade. Okay. Now, if I won't mention any names, but there are a couple of guys who like to do their own trades, you're welcome. That's up to you. But I don't want to hear about it, and I don't want to adjust it for you, or do I want to analyze it for you? You know what? I turn bankrupt. Plus, your trade could pollute me. I don't want a crutch. I don't want to come and say, I did this because Jake said do this. No. Jake's name is not on the door. My name is. I live or die. This package will live or die by me, not by Jake. So I cannot have blame it on anybody. So no advice, please. Okay. Thanks. Also, as a rule, because I'm a publisher, I need to let you know, I'm a newsletter publisher. I don't have full First Amendment rights. I can't just say anything I want. That's how the laws are interpreted. There are some restrictions. One of them is no one-on-one. It's going to be where those are available. It's going to be where it's has to be recorded. It's going to be where the others have a chance to come in. It doesn't matter if they have to pay or not. If it's for pay, they can opt for it, not pay. But they can come in. It's not me and a fellow walking down the street having ice cream and I answer a question. That's not valid. I've broken the rules. Okay, so I don't know if it's a statute or what. It's not. It's nothing to do. It's an offshoot of the First Amendment, but it's not. It had nothing to do with founding fathers. Okay, yeah, they weren't watching this stuff like that. But anyhow, that's what we got to live by. SQ. Now, chart of a day is what Admiral Tico is good for and known for. And remember, do you Tico? Okay, so if you go to Twitter and you find his feed, which is at Admiral Tico, he is featuring some charts there. And lo and behold, he's at 1261. Remember, this was like 200 points lower in terms of followers. All he did was two things. I think it was comment on Twitter, also comment on Tesla. Yeah, price on Tesla, comment on financial analysis of the MD&A of Twitter that said, according to the management discussion analysis, when you look at recurring earnings, not a one-time income, the Elon Musk cannot service the debt. I mean, by income of the excess cash flow, the free cash flow of Twitter. So he's got to sell a lot more shares. And here's my target. A week in advance, he went to his target. We exploded. We had 75 people in 1 hour coming. Why? They send emails and they subscribe. All of a sudden, my email rotated up crazy. So I had a talk with him. I said, what was this all about? He goes, Daddy, I took on the most powerful man in the world for 4 years. Now I decided to go after the most richest man in the world. Okay, that's his logic. He's a blonde, okay? He's a blonde. So I'm going after the richest man in the world, and I'm going to show him why he's wrong. And sure enough, went to his place. More power to Admiral Tico. My contribution was taking him to Jimmy P's and having a Wagyu filet. And I did an over steam cook for him. He liked that. Who wouldn't, right? Okay. VX spread, 3 months of spread. Our forward is a forward look in the risk of as perceived by big guns. Hold on. Why is this not doing that? Okay, there we go. So it should be here. There we go. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Okay. We are on AM. I'm sorry. Yes. And we're long AM and short September, 3 months. Now, where are we? Yeah. See, the June has not expired. Usually, VIX expires 2 or 3 days before or the following week. Last trade is on Tuesday. Settlement is Wednesday morning. That's just the way they put it. So we have to use long M, short U, and that's what the differential is right now. Now, what does it tell us? All these charts all look good, but what's the interpretation? -2, it's close to a potential nearby top. If it was -3, -4, I would say, yeah, we're at the top now. Relatively. Not a long-term top, not a top this month or this year. But in terms of trading environment, that's where we are. About -2. We're not at the lows, we're not at the top. We're kind of halfway in between. So that makes the trading a lot even more difficult. Because how do you decide what to go and what to do? So that's that. Sorry guys, one more. I'm just dehydrated. All right. How about SP2? First of all, rendezvous coming from a stock RSI. Code is not mine. Code belongs to the church Andy. But I programmed it, and it's part of our pro package. Rendezvous point, you just put three different versions of it. Rendezvous point coming up. Why? 2 are up there. The issue is how fast this gets up there. Will it or not? If it meanders, we're going to pull back, like down here. But we go a little bit further, yeah, we're going to have pretty decent exhaustion. At that one, I'll put a put spread on. My work says we should have a difficult June. There's a potential of a time cycle around the 4th of July. Now, I hear today they're talking about, no, June won't be as bad and all that. Okay, I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell, but that's my work is done. I got to talk to a couple other guys who actually better. I'm not a good time cycle guy. I'm more price cycle. And very few people are good at both. He's actually this one guy. We exchange notes. He looks at my x-axis. I'm sorry, at y-axis targets, and he gives me his x-axis targets. Sometimes they match, sometimes they don't. And I haven't seen anybody who's good at both, by the way. So that's the holy grail. You won't find anything. But we're at 60 now, pulling back. We had an overbought condition coming from a very difficult overbought and divergence. Are you with me? There's your divergence. So it came up, and once we got to this point, I told Nancy, I just go to town with it. This is it, and we did. I don't know where I was. I just had to dictate it to her, and she sent it up. Remember, orders go to PMT Pro first because it's got an option in it. We strip the option and sending it out to cash market. Yeah. When we do a change of bias, you get the change of bias before the close, like around 340, 330, 355. Why? SPY and the options on the spot, which we trade, don't finish until 4:15. We have plenty of time. By waiting a little bit that late, we're trying to see what is Newman doing. That's a Newman time. Newman comes at 3:50, right? So we want to know what he has done, and you have plenty of time. Now, for basic PMT, that signal goes out, but it's after 4:15. There's got to be a difference between the package, right? You know, as they say in New York City, if you pay more, you get a bigger bowl of soup, right? So that's what that is. So we send that note out at 4:17 on Friday, but PMT Pro got the signal at 3:55. You still have 20 minutes to get out, okay? And we had said day before we covered the option trade, so that should be in your mind. Hey, he's going to go flat on the cash also, okay? Now, listen, I'm grateful. Given the craziness that was here and the workload, I think we got lucky there. It wasn't a lot of work. It was more visual. I look at it I'm on the future side more than anything else. I'm looking at some fangs, and I said, okay, this makes sense. And we did it. So a little bit of luck. I don't want to take full credit. I could have done it without help of Nancy. I mean, I'm very proud of my team. They're just done a tremendous job. I get surprised by what they do. So without any initiation from me or suggestion, they go and figure it out. Yeah. Another friend of mine also joined. Max has joined us on the chat Zoom. He's going through things. I understand what we're doing. You know, he's that Elliott Wave guy. He's trying to adapt Elliott Wave to OTF. That's an interesting concept. If he does that, I'm going to make him a moderator, one of the moderators, as a relief moderator for Peter, 12 pot. But I've known Max 40 years, something like that. And in the last 30 years, he's traded. And I was in LA, constantly shared things, discussed different stuff. And I wrote a couple of years for him. He's not a programmer, he's a trader. And pretty good sense of what's going on. So we need to add more dimension to what we offer. And I think at this point, he's a good guy there for that purpose. All right, let's go to term structure of interest rates. Interesting issue. I've been involved recently on a little transaction, and just as an advisor, the buyer and seller, they're going back and forth. Of course, the seller just absolutely hard-headed. He knows what he's talking about. He lives in a $12 million home, so the last 45 years he's been in real estate, therefore he knows what is going on. Wrong. Admiral Tico sent him a note and said, buddy, you need to understand term structure of interest rates back in November. And this guy did not budge on his price, and the price just went south of it. Big time. He just like flabbergasted, like, what's going on here? I said, well, when Admiral Tico says something, most people take notes, okay? They don't argue. It's Admiral Tico. His reason is 9-pound Junaval, or little animal, is Admiral. He what a command of a fellowship he has. When he told you, you didn't listen. Because he said, well, you don't understand the demand in this part of the town. I said, well, whatever. We'll see. I understand demand for money, or supply for money. We've had too much supply. Demand is coming in now. Can I take some of that out? It's going to make life miserable for people who are asset rich, cash poor, and therefore have high leverage. If you think about it, he's a rich guy, but really he's not that liquid. The reason he's rich is because he's an inflation protected asset like real estate. And then when the bottom starts moving, yeah, you're going to feel it. Okay. We're starting to head up. We just went over 1% on the IRX, which is the 91-day discount rate on the Treasury. 91-day paper, 3 months. And there's another one. I don't know if they do it for 6, but 3 months is the peg. And then we have 5-year for, which is autos, 10-year for housing, and then 30, which is really long-term insurance obligations. Let's say hospital or insurance company has healthcare. They need a hard real estate, let's say Manhattan, but that's the price that we pay on their mortgage. This is a heavy duty stuff. Okay. So what does it all mean? I think you're gonna have some problems on some subprime cars. They did that in 2008, 2009, mainly to protect Detroit, the economy, the people, all that, but also they were buying votes. Corruption rampant. This is impacted Illinois, Wisconsin, and Indiana. That part of the world, corruption is the middle name of most people. So, yeah, that's sad. So that's gonna. They issued a lot of paper that was subpars or subprime cars. They're gonna get into trouble. In real estate, I don't need to say that. Most of you guys are there. You know what's going on. But I mean, we have seen a pretty decent slowing down here. And how do I know? There were like 22,000 registered brokers down here in a very small town of 400,000 people. The seaside village of Naples only like 23,000. But a lot of them now are just after 2-3 years of go-go days are basically looking for other jobs. My suggestion was go to Uber, try Uber. Yeah. Anyhow, so that was that. Volume. Let's go to volume. Okay. We plot this every 60 minutes. There's also 30 minutes in the chat I use. We post on Twitter often. There are two other guys I want you to read if you want to follow this. They're much better than this than I am. If you go here, you'll see these two characters. Let's see. There we go. Norseman, which is a friend of mine. Very good. You got me started on this. Walter Deemer, everybody knows. He does stuff. He's the high priest of our business. Mark Tells is, I think, Yang something guy. Let's see. Rennie Yang. Yeah, it's a very interesting guy. Heavy duty quality research. He doesn't do much on Twitter, but we're trying to get him involved. Yeah. I've learned to collaborate with key people that I trust, not aliases and all that, but people I trust. And it's been pretty good. Norseman, I know because he registered here, he was here, I talked to him, but I know that's him. But we shy away from aliases. One more thing. Guys, when you come into to Elite Package, there's a dedicated private Twitter. It's for paid members only. We don't even add it for the free trials. We don't know why, because it's labor intensive to put on and make sure you register and take you off. We do it when you are a paid member. Okay. And so if you're seeing here, you're a member of Elite, doesn't matter which one, Elite MNQ. Let me put this way: Elite NQ, Elite MNQ, or Chatroom. Charts only and Chatroom. You still need to have that. Why is that? Fast communication. If something goes wrong, email-wise, we have to say something or do something, or I'm on the road, something happens, or I see something on the chart, or I hear. Let's say I'm in Manhattan. I'm in a meeting. As long as that inside information, I may want to share something with you. I can hit that from my phone. Instantly you get it. Write down, where's my email? How do I do this? Plus, we have to retain our emails. We try to keep it at a certain location safe, rather than having hodgepodge, part in the laptop, part in the phone, none of that. I don't get company emails on my phone. I don't have my personal Gmail. Even the company Gmail, I don't get. Why? I'm just not there to get bing, ding, 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 ding emails coming in. I'm just, if I'm on my phone, I'm doing something useful, most of it. So I want to have that buffer. Remember buffer in Godfather 2? Yeah, you got to have a buffer. Larry's buying power index. That goes hand in hand. It's not my work, so I can't distribute it. It's Peter Cook did it. It's fairly interesting. And only runs on these. You can't do these easily. This is a fairly interesting data that comes in, and Tracy offers it, and you can see what it does. Now, Peter is a pretty good guy on ELD programming, so he shared that with me after I showed him what I did with Larry. Up and down, which is no comparison to this. That's kid stuff compared to this. But he built this, and his back test shows the longs do not do you wrong. The long signals on this are incredible. Now, maybe it could be that it was in a period, last 4 years, that we had an up bias. So maybe with the exception of early part of between first and second quarter of 2020. But aside from that, it's been amazing. So we just run it for a sense of where things are, and you can see where they are. Long here, long, 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 all for long. This is a bunch of data in there. I mean, that relates to NQ. Bunch of it. I forget what even the symbol is. Hold on. So don't even ask. Seriously, I don't know. See these? Up value and down value, and that's a symbol. It's interesting what stuff. These both are work of Paul Desmond of Lowry Research out of Tampa. I think he's passed away, but he's done really, really solid work, and he won Charles Dow Award. And, he's up there. He's a smart guy. In years back, not recently. Yeah, the recent Charles Dow Award that I like is my friend Jason Gupford, but he's too big now. Wow, what he has built is amazing. With a couple of analysts, full time, hard worker out of Minneapolis. Has done a great job. It's called Sentiment Trader. All right. Any questions for me? And you want me to analyze the chart? Like Twitter, like this. Tico has a question. That's Twitter. Okay. So very neutral. Why? Look at the signal levels. Very flat. Why? This is news pending. Yeah, I wouldn't buy or sell Twitter here. Oh, VXRT. Let me go over that. Yeah, some of you guys might have been in there. But we've had pretty fortunate time to take some money out. At 11 and 12, our cost was a little bit over 6. Some were at 6.5 to 7. But we had a couple of cowboys. One guy was at 9. And this thing didn't pan out. Why? They were behind. They fell behind. They were skipping one step to catch up because they felt White House would cover them. It was under pressure period. They took one step out, which is the primate testing. So CDC and FDA said, no soup for you. Come back next quarter. But they never recovered. And COVID went away on practical purposes. Now, in the first world. Third world and fourth world, this is crucial because this pill doesn't need, it's a pill for vaccination. Doesn't need any ice maker or refrigeration, and doesn't need a needle. Change the ball game. For let's say Africa, this is ideal, and it's dirt cheap. So maybe at one point, maybe a takeover candidate. It could be a shoebox. Don't buy it on margin. Put it in your shoebox. That means you tell the broker to send you the certificate, so they don't keep it on your account. When you want to sell, you have to plan it. Say, there's my certificate. Go and find it. Make sure it's not lost. Then you can sell because you got to deliver it in 3 days. Or 2 days, whatever the stock is. I think I heard somewhere that it's clinging 2. Used to be 5, now it's 3. Last I knew. I don't do stocks. But this could be a takeover candidate. The other reason is that the pill is also good for one-time use. One pill will take care of your cold shots, your flu shots forever. So when you have all these old farts down here, this is the best thing for them. Otherwise, they're going to spend, every quarter you can't even get to CVS or Walgreens. There's a line for them. They're hanging out there to get those shots. So this could be for that. My family, some sat there past 6. I agree. Some, they hit 11. One hit 12. I had some who bought at 9.5. Remember, I did not do trade by trade. This was just a favor from a biotech fund I know. And it did go to 12. It didn't get to 24 or 48. We thought it could, and if it was approved on time, probably it would. But, if you don't deliver, no soup for you. That's where that is. Any names you guys want me to look at? Before I go and get myself a cup of coffee? No. We're done. So, we used to do that. We used to come in and do it. A little stock analysis. Last call. Anything else you need? Any questions? Am I totally confused you? We're a neutral here. We don't have a bias here right now. We're on the sidelines. So are we good? Okay, guys. I'm going to shut this off. I got to do some econ stuff, and then you're quite welcome, Huma. And then tech support and all that. I hopefully can get a little rest. You're quite welcome. I thank you guys for coming in. Yeah, appreciate that. Okay, closing the webinar for all. Good night now. We'll see you next week. And of course, do nothing. If you're in this webinar today, do nothing. So I'll make a reminder. Thank you all. Good night.